Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star 2, Land of Origin based on novel. So let's start. Yu Kingdom, within the Yunmao primal chaos state. In the depths of an ancient mountain range, a tribe lived and thrived. The gathering place, however, was silent at the moment, as tens of thousands of creatures from the tribe lay without sound or movement. Suddenly, an essence flew out from the bodies of these tens of thousands of creatures. Their combined essences formed a figure clad in a grey robe, whose face was obscured by the garment. The minds of the tens of thousands of creatures in this tribe are too weak. My bloodline has devoured their mental consciousness, and they didn't even react. The figure in the grey robe shook his head lightly. Devouring billions of such weak, true gods would barely benefit me at all. I need some precious resources. If I could absorb the essence blood of primal chaos level exotic beasts, the help would be far greater, the figure in the grey robe mused. To strive toward becoming a primal chaos overlord through the path of bloodline cultivation, how difficult it is. Bloodline cultivation is easy at the beginning, but as one progresses, the need for resources increases dramatically. In the entire land of origin, the limit for bloodline cultivation is the primal chaos lord realm. To break through to primal chaos overlord, naturally, there are many barriers to overcome. The figure in the grey robe took out a karmic messenger order with a flip of his hand. He wasn't worried about being locked by karma, for the high and mighty primal chaos overlords hardly noticed him. As for the eternal true gods, see a novel, et website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. In his view, the eternal true gods were his prey. Zhujiang Primal Chaos Prefecture's Huyang City, Luohe. He killed a leader of a dark force within Huyang City, Association leader Mu Yang of the Blood Python, and possesses at least 2 mechanical flow treasures worth more than 6.5 million cosmic san. A flicker of interest crossed the figure in the grey robe's mind. When it comes to sneak attacks and assassinations, there are few eternal true gods that can survive my hands. The figure in the grey robe was very confident. He had traversed many primal chaos prefectures, and was rich in experience from clashing with the powerful. A trip to Huyang City it is then. Once I arrive, I'll head to the Flame Wind Pavilion to gather detailed information about this Luohe, and then plan the ambush, the figure in the grey robe said as he moved and completely merged with heaven and earth, vanishing without a trace. He was hurtling through the void at a terrifying speed, heading straight for Huyang City in the Zhujiang Primal Chaos Prefecture. As for the area where he was originally located, the tens of thousands of creatures that lay motionless, their bodies had completely disintegrated. The reason so many tribal people were eager to live in large cities was exactly because of the unpredictability of the wilderness. They could face disaster at any moment. A terrifying exotic beast passing by could swallow an entire tribe in one bite. An eternal true god passing by could, for the sake of cultivation, wealth, or simply to vent, easily destroy a tribe with a flick of their hand. Only by living within the city walls could they have stable lives. Huyang City. Brother Shong, do you have time? I'm treating you at the Fire Realm restaurant, Luo Feng contacted Shong Qianyang. Brother Luo he is treating. In the whole Huyang City, countless eternal true gods couldn't even beg for such an opportunity. Of course I have time. I can set off right now. Shong Qianyang replied. Haha, great. See you at the Fire Realm restaurant later. Luo Feng liked Shong Qianyang's forthright nature. After making the arrangements, Luo Feng immediately set off with Marosa and Moyu Qingyang. Inside a flying boat. Marosa spoke from the side, Master, Shong Qianyang is just an ordinary eternal true god. Why are you giving him so much face? In Morosa's view, his master, Luo Feng, who could enslave sector beasts and himself had a perfect divine body, was a genius among geniuses. Ordinary eternal true gods didn't deserve too much of his master's attention. Making friends is not only about the strength, Luo Feng said. Is that so? Morosa didn't quite understand. In his eyes, those ordinary eternal true gods were only fit to be food. Moreover, my interactions with Brother Shong are actually more of me seeking his help, Luo Feng said. I often ask him about artifact refining skills, and he has always given me guidance without reservation. Morosa said, when you ask for his help, master, that is his great fortune. Meanwhile, Moyu Qingyang listened quietly, not daring to interject. Sometimes he wondered, his master was indeed very powerful, yet as a servant, the true god of void space, Lord Luo Sa, spoke quite casually. Master is too kind, that's why he tolerates such disrespect from Lord Luo Sa, Moyu Qingyang thought to himself, as he dared not show any disrespect either. Qingyang, Luo Feng called out. Master, Moyu Qingyang replied with utmost respect. I hear from Mo Li Meng that your father, Moyu Hu, has taken a position in the city owner's mansion. Luo Feng asked. Moyu Qingyang responded, my father also instructed me to thank the master once you emerged from seclusion. I was looking for an opportunity to speak of this as well. Thank me. Moyu Hu is quite polite, Luo Feng nodded. My father has always been focused on the well-being of my 3 brothers and me. I was fortunate to follow the master, Moyu Qingyang said. He also tried his best to send my elder brother to the Zhu clan, and my youngest brother to the Heavenly Flame sect. Afterwards, following your killing of the Blood Python leader, my father was recruited to the city owner's mansion, and my elder brother's position rose within the Zhu clan. He was even taken as a disciple by an eternal true god. Zhu, Moyu Qingyang explained. Luo Feng was surprised. The eternal true god, Zhu from the Zhu clan, has taken your elder brother as his disciple. Yes, Moyu Qingyang nodded. My father said that both the city owner's mansion and the Zhu clan probably want to make connections with my master. But within Huyang City, there are very few who have a relationship with my master. That's why they bestowed favor upon my father and my brother. Luo Feng chuckled. Indeed, he only had 2 servants, one Morosa, one Moyu Qingyang. Other powers could only start from the Moyu family, which indeed changed the family's fortunes significantly. How about your 3rd brother? Luo Feng asked. My 3rd brother is still in the Heavenly Flame sect, learning the basic skills, Moyu Qingyang said. The artifact refining skills within the Heavenly Flame sect are strict, and must be learned step by step from the basics. Luo Feng nodded, your father is quite the strategist. The Heavenly Flame sect has a good reputation, and their sect leader Shong Qianyang is also a good friend of mine. The Zhu clan is even the #1 local family in Huyang City. He sent one child to the Heavenly Flame sect and the other into the Zhu clan, with much thought and effort. The 5 great families of the city owner's mansion are not native families. They are either branches of godly king families, or branches of primal chaos overlord families. The most powerful of the true local families rooted in Huyang City, grown over time, is the Zhu clan. The Zhu clan conducts their business seriously, and doesn't get involved with dark forces, yet their power is extremely strong. Within Huyang City, only a few can kill the Blood Python leader. And the chief of the Zhu clan, Zhu Hu, is one of them. In terms of strength, none of the 5 great families dare say they are stronger than the Zhu clan. Of course, in terms of background, the 5 great families have overwhelming support, and can call upon terrifying entities at any time. My father has indeed tried every possible way for us 3 brothers. But my father being able to enter the city owner's mansion, and my elder brother being taken in by an eternal true god, it's all thanks to the master, Moyu Qingyang said gratefully. If you want to thank me, then master the 10 fundamental laws as soon as possible, Luo Feng said. Yes. Moyu Qingyang was very clear that he had encountered an incredible opportunity, but only if he could seize it. Mastering the 10 fundamental laws was the first test of becoming a disciple. He invested over 90% of his time every day in contemplating the laws, daring not to slack in the slightest. He even thought of ways to coax Lord Luo Sa, seeking guidance from him. Fire Realm Restaurant. Supreme. Black Butcher was extremely excited and came out to meet him ahead of time. Over time, the news that Luo he had killed the blood python leader had gradually spread from the upper echelons of Huyang City to the middle levels. Black Butcher, who ran a restaurant, came and went and was quite well informed, having heard the news. Moreover, with the Blood Python Association headquarters turned to ruins, those businesses that had to pay tribute fees were already discussing it. Ha ha ha. Luo Feng looked at Black Butcher's excited demeanor and joked, Black Butcher, has the Blood Python Association exempted your tribute fee? With the Blood Python Association gone, of course there's no such thing as a tribute fee anymore, Black Butcher said gratefully. And the other 2 dark forces contesting the Blood Python's territory have both come to me, saying they will excuse my Fire Realm restaurant from tribute fees in the future. The 2 dark forces contesting the Blood Python Association's territory. Which 2 are they? Luo Feng asked curiously. One is the 1,000 Mountain Tower, the other is the 6 Lords Alliance. But they've both been very friendly to my Fire Realm restaurant, Black Butcher said gratefully. I know all this is because of you, Supreme. Luo Feng smiled lightly, they do seem to know what's good for them. They are afraid that if they collect tribute fees, you'll go and annihilate them, Shong Qianyang commented as he came out of a distant building. Brother Luo you are slower to treat than I am, huh? I've come as quickly as I can, Luo Feng said with a smile as he approached. Black Butcher, quickly prepare some food and drinks, put some extra effort into it. I'll do my utmost, Black Butcher said, full of enthusiasm. Luo Feng and Shong Qianyang then entered the building together. You must feel that many forces in Huyang City are orbiting around you, Shong Qianyang said with a smile. Huyang City may seem crowded with strong individuals, but in the end, it's the strongest existences that decide everything. And now, you've also become a member who influences the order, most importantly, you are unattached with no family. Naturally, many forces want to win you over, willing to pay a high price. Want to win me over? The usual price is not enough to catch my eye. Luo Feng poured wine for Shong Qianyang himself. Come, let's drink. Brother Luo, he pouring wine himself, not many are privileged enough to taste it, Shong Qianyang said delightedly as he picked up his cup. After a drink, Shong Qianyang looked outside in surprise. At that moment, Moyu Qingyang was naturally standing guard outside the building, while Morosa was sitting on a large rock not far away, sipping from a wine jug and simultaneously ordering some food from the Fire Realm restaurant. Your servant seems quite at ease, Shong Qianyang said. When I was still a true god, he followed me. He may be a servant, but is like a brother, Luo Feng said. By the way, I invited you today, because I've encountered some difficulties with body refinement. Body refinement is just a branch of artifact refining. Tell me any troubles you have, Shong Qianyang said, brimming with confidence when it came to artifact refining. One asked, the other answered. Luo Feng inquired about some perplexing points in the Primal Chaos Great Strength diagram, regarding the second phase of body refinement, and Shong Qianyang easily clarified these perplexities from different angles, enlightening Luo Feng. The Primal Chaos Great Strength diagram mandates 3 body refinement sessions at the Eternal True God stage. If the third body refinement demands a high understanding of the mysteries of law and skills in artifact refining, then the requirements for the second body refinement are relatively much lower. Luo Feng, who had grasped the essence of the laws, and with the guidance of Shong Qianyang, one of the top artifact refining masters in Huyang City, coupled with his previous accumulations, fully comprehended the key points of the second body refinement during this meal period. I suppose I've got the theory down, next comes the practice, Luo Feng said with a smile. Theory is the foundation, but practice is the true reflection of strength, Shong Qianyang said with a laugh. Brother Luo He, since you are refining your body, even if you fail occasionally, you can always refine it again. Body refinement is much simpler than refining artifacts. A godly body, even if mostly destroyed, can still recover, so of course the margin for error in body refinement is extremely high. Meanwhile, forging weapons, armors, mechanical stream secret treasures, and the like have a much lower tolerance for mistakes. Ha, if body refinement were as difficult as artifact refining, the path of body refinement wouldn't be so prosperous, laughed Luo Feng. Many cultivate body refinement in conjunction with other practices, but very few also undertake artifact refining. In the end, this world respects strength above all. What's the use of having strong artifact refining skills? Shong Qianyang shook his head. Against someone with greater strength, don't you still have to bow your head? Luo Feng nodded. His master, the mountain-sitting guest, could refine godly king-level weapons and had many friends, but what did that amount to? Faced with the intimidation of the Shi kingdom, Jin state only had the path to ruin. The mountain-sitting guest didn't pin his hopes on those friends, but instead fled to the universe ocean. Eventually, relying on others is never as good as relying on oneself. Inside the pavilion, Shong Qianyang and Luo Feng fell silent for a moment. Shong Qianyang's eyes became distant as if visualizing the figure he longed for day and night. Fire Realm Restaurant. Suo Zi was diligently preparing dishes. Having been at this small eatery for over a century, he had gradually become adept at some of the ordinary cuisines. Done, Suo Zi said, waving his hand. A delicious dish was successfully plated and carried away by another attendant. Brother Suo Zi's culinary skills have become quite remarkable, praised the other chefs of the Fire Realm restaurant, who were also disciples taken in by the Black Butcher, and had been following him for an even longer time. Compared to my senior brothers, my cooking skills are still very ordinary, Suo Zi said with a smile. Being able to cook was a significant advancement for him. Suo Zi, Suo Zi. Suddenly, a shout rang out. Upon hearing this, Suo Zi excused himself. My brother is here, I'll step out for a moment. The other chefs paid no mind as Suo Zi was still learning and could only prepare a few relatively simple dishes, hardly a mainstay yet. Stepping outside, Suo Zi immediately saw Suo Yun waiting for him. Suo Yun, Suo Zi said, somewhat surprised, you. Suo Yun was full of spirit, his smile brilliant. I've broken through. I've finally reached the void true God realm. That's great, said an excited Suo Zi. We've been in Huyang City for over a century, and you, Suo Yun, have finally reached the void true God realm. The two brothers had come to the city looking for opportunities. One became a guard for the Jiarong family, and the other was recruited by the Fire Realm restaurant. I seized the opportunity, and received a few resources given to me by the young miss of the Jiarong family. My bloodline refinement was successful, and I've broken through, Suo Yun said, looking at his brother. Suo Zi, we were the ones with the highest talents in our tribe, and with ordinary cultivation secret techniques, we both reached the 9th realm of true God at a young age. With powerful secret techniques, and some resources in Huyang City, I've become a true god of void space, and you can do the same. Suo Zi's blood boiled at hearing this. The two indeed had talents that were not much different from each other, and their clan leader thought these two young juniors could make a name for themselves in Huyang City. I've almost exhausted my resources and can't help you for now, Suo Yun said. But now that I'm a true god of void space, it'll be easy to join a power and become a part of the middle ranks. When that happens, I'll bring you in. With the two of us brothers working together, I believe you'll quickly become a true god of void space as well. I'm doing quite well in the Fire Realm restaurant, and my master is very good to me, Suo Zi hastily replied. Burying yourself as a cook, when will you be able to gather primal chaos crystals? Suo Yun turned and left. Wait patiently. Once I'm settled in the new power, I'll pull you over. Suo Yun, who had feared being killed or robbed, had been hiding in his dwelling to cultivate in secret, finally breaking through with the help of the resources. Now at his most spirited, he thought his brother Suo Zi's decision to be a cook was very foolish. Sigh, Suo Zi watched as his brother walked away. Suo Zi, the Black Butcher, approached. Master, Suo Zi greeted respectfully. Due to his consistently good performance and his relationship with Luo Feng, he had been formally accepted as a disciple by the Black Butcher. Your senior brother is right. Accumulating resources as a chef is very slow, the Black Butcher remarked. Even after such a long time, I have only accumulated limited resources. Perhaps following your brother will lead you to a brighter future. Suo Zi shook his head. Back in the tribe when hunting together, Suo Yun always liked to take risks. He's the same inside Huyang, he might succeed 10 times, but if he fails just once, that's it. Previously, everyone in the Jerong family's cave mansion, including the guards, were all killed. He only survived because he was with Supreme Lord Luo He at the Fire Realm restaurant. I advised him, but he wouldn't listen. Master, I'd rather stay and learn here at the Fire Realm restaurant. If you wish to stay at the Fire Realm restaurant, of course. I wouldn't let you down, the Black Butcher said with a smile, nodding his approval. He could cultivate this disciple with confidence since he wanted to take root in the Fire Realm restaurant. I feel the culinary path suits me better, said Suo Zi. Cooking also involves wielding divine power and spiritual will. It is a form of cultivation, too. The Black Butcher nodded in satisfaction and then departed. With the pavilion master gone, the other attendants quickly gathered around. Suo Zi, your brother has become a true god of void space. So impressive, entering Huyang City and becoming a true god of void space in just over a century. I've struggled for thousands of years and am still just at the eightfold realm of true god. Brother Suo Zi was already at the ninefold realm in the tribe. His talent is far superior to ours. The attendants said this with envy. Their abilities were far inferior to Suo Zi's, and most had not been formally taken in by the Black Butcher as disciples. Suo Zi smiled, though his feelings were complicated. In front of his master, he had been decisive, speaking his heartfelt truth. But how could he not feel some sting of challenge when his brother, who had grown up alongside him, Suo Yun, had become a true god of void space? Could it really be as Suo Yun said, that I must take risks to seize opportunities? Suo Zi pondered, but the clan leader said that when hunting, it's better to give up 10 chances than to gamble with your life recklessly. The path of culinary skills may be slower, but it's surer. Given a few hundred epochs, I will definitely gather enough resources, Suo Zi thought to himself. Inside the small building, Luo Feng also witnessed the encounter between Suo Zi and Suo Yun. The brothers had entered Huyang City with Luo Feng, creating a certain bond. The basic true gods within Huyang City all struggle greatly, Zhong Qianyang observed. Gazing outside, most of them take desperate chances to seize opportunities, even at the cost of their lives, only to fail in their breakthroughs more often than not. Suo Yun has considerable talent to have achieved a breakthrough in one go. Luo Feng nodded, both brothers are quite talented. The art of the Black Butcher's culinary skills is brilliant, on par with artifact refining and alchemy, requiring a perfect combination of divine power and spiritual will to create flavors that touch the spirit. Suo Zi's aptitude is also evident from how quickly he mastered it. Shong Qianyang, holding his wine glass leisurely, said, "They both have talent, but among the massive quantity of true gods in Huyang City, even more lack such talent. Which one do you admire?" Luo Feng asked with a smile. "If I were younger, I would have admired Suo Yun more. But now..." Shong Qianyang drank the wine in his glass. "I admire Suo Zi more." Luo Feng nodded, his gaze sweeping across some envious attendants in the Fire Realm restaurant. The road to cultivation forbids greed. Compared to the ordinary attendants of the Fire Realm restaurant, Suo Zi is already very fortunate. Luo Feng stood up. "Yes, forbids greed." Shong Qianyang nodded. "It's easy to say, but how many mighty ones can achieve it? I have made greedy mistakes before. Some wrongs can be corrected. Some, once done, cannot be undone." Luo Feng nodded and said, "Brother Shong, I will be going into closed-door cultivation once I get back. If you have any urgent matters, you can also send a message to Luo Sa. During closed-door cultivation, one needs to be completely invested, and the transmission token would naturally be shut off. Otherwise, messages from the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall, and some acquaintances, would disrupt Luo Feng's concentration. As long as the message was given to Luo Sa, he could contact Luo Feng through spiritual transmission. "All right." Shong Qianyang nodded with a smile. "If there's an emergency, I will definitely make contact." The two of them walked out together, and the pavilion master of the Fire Realm, Black Butcher, came out personally to send the two eternal true gods off. Luo Feng, accompanied by Morosa and Moyu Qingyang, left the Fire Realm restaurant and first went to the Flame Wind Pavilion to buy a large amount of materials needed for the second body refinement. For the first body refinement, I used about 100,000 cosmic sand worth of materials. According to my understanding of the second refinement, I estimate I'll need 650,000 cosmic sand worth of materials, Luo Feng thought. Accounting for some losses, I should prepare a bit more and buy 700,000 cosmic sand worth. The Flame Wind Pavilion, renowned throughout the land of origin, gathered the materials needed for 700,000 cosmic sand in just the time it took to drink a few cups of tea and chat. Since some materials are not commonly used, we had to source them from our cooperating guilds this time, the vice president of the Flame Wind Guild said. If Brother Luo he intends to buy more in the future, it's best to place an order through the Dark Hall in advance. We can prepare ahead of time. They were only a branch in a large city, after all, with limited storage. All right, Luo Feng picked up the jade vial, which contained the massive amount of materials worth 700,000 cosmic sand, many of which were piled up like mountains. The primal chaos great strength diagram did not consume many resources, but Luo Feng's godly body was too vast. Next will be the third body refinement, and the materials needed will multiply many times over. I'll have to book in advance, Luo Feng thought. However, I currently cannot afford that much material. I'm still too poor. After buying the materials, Luo Feng quickly left with his two servants. Whoosh! They flew back to the cave mansion, where Luo Feng stowed the flying boat and Morosa and Moyu Qingyang naturally landed beside him. Qingyang, Luo Feng instructed, I am planning to enter a long period of closed-door cultivation, so you don't need to always wait in the cave mansion. You can go home and visit anytime. Thank you, Master, Moyu Qingyang said gratefully. Since he had begun following Luo Feng, he hadn't gone back even once. What about me? Can I go out? Morosa immediately asked. Last time the master was in closed-door cultivation, it lasted for more than an epoch. As long as you don't cause trouble, you're free to wander around Huyang City, Luo Feng said, then flew directly to the underground hall. As he entered, the doors of the underground hall thunderously closed, and the formation began to operate, isolating the inside from the outside. Luo Feng had begun his closed-door cultivation. Lord Luo sir, then I will go back first, Moyu Qingyang respectfully said. See a thnoelfire.nt website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Go ahead, go ahead. I'm going to have a look around, Morosa said jubilantly. Already flying out of the cave mansion ahead of him, the master only goes to those few boring places. There are many fun spots in Huyang City. The two servants left one after the other. The entire cave mansion was peaceful, with only Luo Feng in the midst of cultivation. This video will end here.